Okay, so I've just listed a summary of things. So where we are in the transaction is we have an offer, we have an inspection, we have the first counter that's based on some of the things that came up in the inspection report. And there's a couple of options here. Option number one, you could accept it. Okay, we're looking for a sale, we're looking to get out of this deal. You're looking at the sale. You're trying to see if the numbers hit your break-even point, and everybody has a break-even point. Like at what point, is this a no deal? As far as a seller's perspective is concerned, when is it a loss for us, or when is it a gain? And looking at considering the goals that you're looking for to get out of the property. So if everything on the paper is acceptable, you sign it. They sign it, you set a settlement date, you go, you sit down at the desk, you sign everything, and then the title company handles the transaction, moving the property from seller to buyer. Next option is a counter offer. Counter offer is you're trying to meet whatever terms that the buyer has placed on the table, and if you wanted to move quickly, you could do two things here. You can either throw cash at it and be like, look, we done did if somebody came to my house, they'd be like, oh, well, we want you to tear out all the toilets, and I'm not fixing nothing else on this house. I'm not doing nothing else. Look, here's the deal. If you want a little bit of money so you can get your uncle to come in and handle it, then I'm gonna throw some money at it. That's fair, a fair number. That's not gonna be a detriment to me, and that's not gonna, make me, hurt, and it's because I'm still going to get my goal, which is to be out of this property. And in the room so if your break-even point is $1,000, because most of the money that the seller is going to get is going to come out of the proceeds of the property. It's not a whole bunch of money that you're pulling out of your own personal account. Most of the money that they're getting is coming out of the sale. You sell the house, you pay off the mortgage, you pay the real estate agents, and then you're paying, the county for their stuff, the insurance companies, you're getting your prorates and all that kind of stuff. And then at the bottom of that sheet, that's where, your leftover money is, or money that you put into it to make sure that all the numbers balance out. So you put some money on it and say, here, I'm not doing anything else. Here's $3,000. Go get it done. Because that means we can do this today. We can literally all sit down and sign it today, and it's over. Or you try to bring in a third party and say, look, we want to fix all the things that you said, and we're going to find somebody to do it for you. And then you're going to come back. So you do that. You have to come back, get a new inspector to come in to make sure that it's up to par. They may or may not even like what you've done. And mind you, they're probably out still looking at properties right now. So if something else comes up in the meantime while we're still waiting, we have all of this time, they're not obligated to do anything with you. They have something on the table. Now they have signed a contract, the original offer, and the original offer didn't go through because they pressed the counter. But if you go get repairs done and they don't like it, or if they find something to complain about, or they bring their person in to say, no, this isn't right, it's not up to code, blase, 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 then that deal is over. So you've spent money on something that they may not even want, and you walk away. So now that a number that probably was in your break-even point number, and the whole deal is gone. The whole $300,000 deal is up in smoke. It cost you to try to fix in a counter is going to cost you time and possibly money and possibly the deal. That's that. You have to determine where your break-even point is. I don't care if you have to eat. If it gets you out of the house and the deal is gone, and you can move on to not burying more money into another mortgage payment, and you can start using that money to put towards savings towards your next investment home. You need to figure out what that number is, and don't put a number down that you can't come up with, because at settlement everybody has to have cash. Stop any kind of auto pays that you have going on. If you think that there's a potential sale that's going on this week, pay everybody else late fees, get this transaction done. Stop everything that's like automated and flying out of your account if those things are going on. That's what I would do. because the money has to be on the table. So next thing is figuring out the break-even point. What do you have? Even if again, you're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and for lunch or whatever. I don't know. Figure that number out and see if you can put it on the table and make it go. The goals are: close the deal, get rid of the mortgage, save towards the second investment, and make sure you have a plan in place to do that. The new money that you're saving from not paying the mortgage is not to be spent on frivolous things. Have an automated system set up so that you can generate the assets and cash that you need, because you didn't make any money off of this sale and equity in order to put in as a down payment, because we talked about that before. You want to make sure that you're doing what you said you were going to do and channel those funds into the second legacy and coffee investment that's on the table. You want to make this a fair deal for both parties. It's not fair to the people that are going in the home to have to be responsible for doing things that on something brand new. They know it's not a brand new property. I also want you to throw something else on the table too, Jonathan. This just popped into my head. You purchased a warranty with your home. Put that on the table, because in that contract, 99% of those warranties are transferable. You can put that on the table and give that to them. I think there's maybe like a $50 transfer fee or something like that. Call that company today. What's today? No, it's the weekend. They ain't open. They might have a customer service. Or if you have your contract, read it. Those people usually like things like that, because what anybody, just like a used car or anything else, people, you don't know what you're walking into. Like, you know what the market says about it, you know what credit says about it, but you don't know what the general condition is. But when you have, that warranty, even if something does come up, it's covered. Just like when you had the water issue, they didn't pay 100%, but having them pay, even 40% of that $500 bill was helpful. It didn't have to come out of your pocket. So again, making it fair for both parties. So we do an estimate and throw a number out to think that they might take it. We throw some money at it to say, hey, get your people and get it done. Let's end this. If the real numbers don't work, then you can't in good faith sign and not have that money when you go to the table, because you're in breach of contract and they can sue you and you lose. They can walk away and you can lose the whole thing. So you don't want to do that. Get your circle together, get your people together. If it's another $500, even if it's $1,000, if you can pull it together, get it together. Yeah. Sell the Apple Watch or something. I don't know. Find some of them shoes. Put some of those wigs on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. Let's see. I think that's all I wanted to say. Let me know what questions you all have, and I can ask them directly. Run my thoughts as a real estate officer. Past Shantae, she's a real estate agent. She's I usually just cut the check. I cut the check. I review the deals because we look at the contract. We go through the contract and make sure everything's on up and up and that sort of thing. But we're not responsible for the strategy that goes behind it. So, yeah, I think I understand the goal of your transaction, and these are just some thoughts into how to get what you want, right? Good luck. Love you guys.